Welcome to the Neoteran Herald Weekly. This is the 11th episode coming to you some minutes before the start of week 30 of the 6th Errorenium year in the Neoteran calendar. I hope you've joined us, and if you've joined us on YouTube live, please let us know. Just post a comment there. Let's know that you're with us. Let's know that this somebody who's listening to our words, and we'll be grateful for that. So I don't want to take too much time. As usual, my name is Astrology and I come to you to bring you your weekly guide into what is important for the next 7 days. We keep improving the menu that we have on the cards for you, and that means this is this is definitely the best episode ever. We have collected all the relevant information that you can use for you for the week, and what is available and what can be done over the course of the next 7 days. We've covered some areas that we've not covered before. We looked at our posts that we had done, especially on WhatsApp. We did update you on these areas that we'll be looking into. And remember, always, the astrological guide, the weekly astrological guide, looks at the events in the week, which, in our understanding, is more or less gateways, portals that open the opportunities that await for you, the ones that have the greatest significance, the greatest programmability, the ones that you can speak into, cause influence, cause change, cause you to move forward over the course of that week. But these doors cannot be locked by anyone and everyone. There are few that can, but there are some that are very, very specific, and that means you need to know the pattern of your keys and how you relate to these cycles, these alignments, these kinds of aspects. This week we're speaking about aspects especially. So that's great. Please, if you can hear my voice, I would love to hear, I would like to see in the comments, in the chat, in the live chat, please just make a comment. Say you can hear us clearly. I don't have a technical person who is monitoring the stream to let me know that, and I can be able to speak to you with my echo in my ears. I won't be able to do that. So I would be very, very glad to hear that you can listen to us, and that is okay, because I've not had anyone speak. I've not seen any comment come into the chat. I had to unmute and reason, and great to see. I can see there are at least 2 people who are watching, 3 people who are watching us. So if you have ability to access our live chat, it's very, very important. That is the main way I'm able to communicate with you. I'm able to view my WhatsApp. I'm able to view other platforms at this time. If you want to comment about the stream, please just do so through our live chat. Thank you, everyone who is tuning in. And therefore, we go very much right on to the business of what's brought us today. Let's first of all look and see how many minutes we have before we have to commemorate or to speak to the start of the week. And this is very, very important. There is something I need to distinguish here. When I speak about the start of the week, what specifically am I addressing myself to? I am speaking about the moment, the sign that indicates the start of the week is there, and that is the start of the day of Sunday, the first day of the week. But we have a standardized way, and we have the completely accurate way. So the sun sign comes usually a little bit long after the standard sign. So the standard start of the week, the first day of the week starts at 12 o'clock, 12 hour in the local time. And that one is integrated into the universal time. It's usually 6 p.m. East African time, because we need this calendar and clocks to be of the greatest convenience to people. If we respect only solar time, then you're going to create more confusion than convenience, because solar time is very much individual to a place and a time. And if you are even living next to your neighbor, your solar time for start of days and even years and months is going to be very different, the specific moment in time. But for convenience, we arrange a time that is common for everybody. And that is why we choose that time, 1500 GMT or UTC. That is the start of the day. So as we are speaking now, we are only about 12 minutes to start of Sunday in the standard calendar. But the moment the sun's disk will indicate for us at the place that we call the standard, in Townet standard, it will be in 53 minutes to come. So that, if I've clarified that, that's great. If you've got me, you still have a question about that, you can work. Now we're going to look at the planetary dimensions. And as always, we don't have time to go into any one of these measurements. There are too many. They are very well graduated. But what we want to do is remember, we are keeping an archive of every one of these moments as we look at them. So it's not just for this one, but even for those who will want to study the system and understand astrology, want to document it. So many ways for that. There's nothing really jumps out of my what to pinpoint here, because this is basically the same chart as we had last week. If you want to see what was there last week, that is the week 29, and we are talking about week 30 now. Those are the dimensions, planetary dimensions. Then we usually show the zodiac order, and that is the order of the planets as they are in the heavens. So here they are, starting with the anti-solar point and going to Pluto, the ascending node, Vesta, the moon, Mercury, Neptune, Mars, Saturn, Sun, planet Aries, planet Ceres, planet Venus, planet this is Jupiter. After Uranus is Jupiter, and then finally the descending node of the lunar descending node. So this is the way you're going to see them up in the sky. Not today, but exactly at the midpoint of this week, and that means at the time of sunrise on Wednesday, the 27th of the 7th month, just 3 days before the end of the month. This is the last week, actually. Week 30 is the last week of the calendar. If you can look at that very quickly, let's look at the calendar month, and that is the month 7. And I realize what I'm displaying is still the countdown. Technical person. We need a technical person to be checking this, because I'm monitoring the several screens. So sometimes I confuse that the screen I'm looking at is the same screen you're looking at. And I am sorry for that. So what you've missed is the planetary dimensions and the planetary zodiac order. So I'll go back to those two slides so that you can look at them. So this is the planetary. These are the dimensions of week 30. Not for the entire week as such, but specifically at the midpoint, at the most representative and descriptive point in that week, Wednesday, sunrise on Wednesday, the 27th of the 7th month of the 6th regnum year, at the Townet place, that is the fulcrum and the anchor point, the datum point for all our understanding about the flow of time. So we standardize it by standard, and that is we call Townet Standard Time. The Townet Standard Time is presented at that point. That is the exact point of sun rising. Not exactly 12 o'clock in the morning. Is the same way as the start of the week or so uses solar time. So you are looking at exact solar time in that essential place that is our point 0, 0, coordinate 0 in the latitude and coordinate 0 on the longitude. That is the place that we anchor all our astrological observations when we are thinking about time, because we have to standardize it. And that is what we do. So when we are giving you these prognostications, remember they are for a particular place, because every place has something different, but we have to standardize it. The celestial dimensions don't change much. When you move from one place to another, even from one day to another, they don't change much. But the terrestrial ones do change. But so these ones apply especially to this point in time. And then the zodiacal planetary order, if I can touch on it very quickly, I will go to the proper slide. and we look at the planetary zodiac order. That is what I was reading through that time, and I didn't know that you are not seeing this. And I was talking about the anti-solar point being the foremost planetary body, which is in house 1 in the Neoteran way of reckoning the arrangement of the houses. Sirius in house 1. We don't have any planetary body through house 2, 3, and 4. Then go to house 5 for Cadell, we get planet Pluto. Is the only what that will be there on the sunrise of Sunday of Wednesday, the 27th. And then from there we go to house number, these what are very small. I hope I can zoom in without creating issues in a way that I'll be able to refer to. Raise my screen is a bit small. And then after that, we are talking about house 6, where there are 3. House 6 and 7, there's a lot of activity there. So after Cabell, we go to house 6. Where is my pointer? Here it is. We go to house 6, and we are looking at all these planets, and that is the ascending node, the lunar ascending node, Vesta, and the moon at that period in time. And also Mercury is also just very close to the entry of house number 6. It's just moving into house 7, so to speak. And then we have what is in Habes Elder, plenty of activity there, because Mercury is actually crossing there just at that point in sunrise. And then Neptune, Mars, and Saturn are already in Habes Elder. And then we go to house, even the Sun and planet Aries are also in Habes Elder. Aries is a little bit close to the division of house 8 in that motion. Then we go to Ceres and Venus, both in house 8. Uranus also in house 8, but close to the boundary, the orb of house 9. Then you have house 10, the domain of Jupiter, house 12, that is setting. So that is the zodiac order, because that's the way they are. And you're going to see that when you look at the main planetary order. And as you can see, there's a lot of activity here. Let me just gain point to the exact place. So here, this is what we're talking about, house 6. You can see plenty of planetary activity here. This is where these planets, Mercury right to the verge of entering that planet. Mars also just entering house 7, Habes Elder. The Sun also in house 7, but planet Saturn is already in house Habes Elder. That is the sign we take for the priesthood transition I was talking to you about last week, and that is it. So house 6, Habes Elder, that is where actually a lot of activity is happening now. And we're going to see that a little bit later. And then we talk about here, the last major planets in Jupiter, house 10. So again, these planetary maps, these maps are consistent with the graphics we're talking about here, because I've standardized them so much up to the number of not decimal places, but numerals and digits. Then sometimes it can seem like very much the very same sort of thing we were talking last week is the same year. And please, we would like to hear some little bit in the chat. I like to know the people that are in the chat, because those are the ones that are helping us drive our agenda forward. So please, let me just type that so that people see. Please let us know. If you're in the chat. If you're live and you can see us, that's very good. So it's very good. That interaction is very, very important. We have 5 people who are viewing us. So let us know in that live chat there. I know my live chat is a little bit late. But you can see that. So those are the major planets this week. And this is how the world last week, so you can see the change. So that is week 29, 7. So you can see clearly how much has changed. I am moving from slide 29 week 29 to week 30, week 30, week 29, 30. So you can see that is a change, and you can see literally something moving and taking place within Habizada. Habizada has already had activity inside it because the sun was already there. Planet Saturn was already there from last week. But Mars and Mercury were just inching their way towards there. But in this week, they'll be there. That's a very, very significant pointer for us. Then let us look at the minor planets themselves. Minor planets don't change much, of course. The minor planets and the what we call the planetary celestial points. So these are points in the celestial heavens that show planetary motion, change, transitions. So they are not stuck in place, but over time and over significant programmable time, they move. So they could move in a matter of weeks or months, but that change is enough, and that is what allows us programmability and ability to unlock, open, and give us access to various cosmic divine provision. So that is the nature of the planets this week. The minor planets will begin always here. This is the lone planetary body in house 1. That is the anti-solar point, as I mentioned when we're looking at the zodiacal planetary order. And here we have Pluto is in house Cabal. Pluto has spent in house Cabal over 3 years. Remember, this was something we mentioned. Cabal is a very significant house because that's the house we can say in confidence that since we began the kingdom age, the Neoteran era, the Neoteran epoch, the Neoteran dispensation, there has never been a single day, a single hour, a single minute, or a single second when there was not a planetary body inside Cabal. That is essential because we know immediately Saturn was leaving Cabal. Immediately Pluto plugged in. Pluto is going to take about 10 years within the confines of his house. So we can be pretty confident there will be a lot of things happening within Cabal. You will not see Cabal empty. You never see Cabal empty as these other houses are wont to be. And previous others, because we have, like, even now I can tell you within what happens, also likely not to be empty because a planet like Neptune is there. Neptune is also quite slow, takes over 5 years. And I know there are some of these houses where they have very slow bodies, so it will take a while. And these are the other planets as they are there. Just I'm not going to any detail into these because, of course, these are things we look at every week. If you want to compare the planets as they were last week, we can look at slide for week 29, and there it is, and you can slide between 30, 29, 30, 29, and you can see what sort of change is happening. There doesn't seem to be any. There's a problem with that display because I certainly know week 29 and 30 is significant change that has taken place. So let's that as it may be. Now we've already looked at the calendar week, but as we said, this is the last week that we are beginning, week number 30. I have to keep reminding myself to check the charts. Still, there's nobody who has made a comment, but glad today we're getting my notification showing there are still 5 people who are looking at what we are doing, and that's an amazing thing. I want to go to live moment on the live chat. My live chat replay often stops in the middle. I don't know where we are at. So that's where that's the calendar. We are entering into week 30, the last week of this calendar. As the case may be, as you can see, the whole 7 days belongs squarely to week 30. And by the time you'll be coming for episode 12, looking forward to week 31. Yeah, week 31 of the Erenium year 6. We will be squarely within month 8. So what are the highlights? And this is the most essential part of our prognostication this week, because this is where the juice is. But before we do that, let's look again how far away we are to welcoming the new week. 39 minutes, about 40 minutes there. I'd like us, as we wait for that to tell just a way to break, I just put on some music for about a minute, and then we will come back and look at the indicators, the major indicators. Please don't go away. This is the most essential component of our live stream. Thank you so much for allowing us just that short break. And as you can see, we just have 30 minutes, over half an hour, to the point where we have to speak about welcome the new week number 30. But to ensure that by the time you're speaking to welcome this new week, you're speaking from a point of information, you're pointing a point of empowerment, a point of understanding, wisdom, and conceptualization of all there is in the cosmic sphere. Let us look at the highlights of the new week. And these are unlike any other highlights. They are very, very significant. We are covering lots of detail here. So pay attention to it, because it's everything, colors, everything that is happening. Now, one of the things I spoke about is we're going to look at aspects, planetary aspects. These are special alignments that between yourself, where you are in the world, a particular planet, and a celestial point in the heavens. So that planet and you, from a reference point, we can calculate a particular angle. And those angles have meanings. We are going to touch two this week. We're going to look at two of them, and that is squares and sextiles. What happens is that as we're doing now, we don't have a perfect square happening. So if you look at the write-up I gave in the announcement channel and in the knowledge base group of our global community on WhatsApp, is that we have what we call squares, perfect squares, and we have de facto squares. We have perfect sextiles and de facto sextiles. Now, de facto sextiles, we have a very big latitude on them, because we are looking for specific doorways now in these weekly prognostications. We only, and I am realizing I'm falling prey to the very same sort of thing that I was falling to earlier, is that I'm giving you one display and then talking about another somewhere I'm not displaying, but I'm certain now we are displaying that point. We're talking about this particular aspect, and this is a sextile aspect, and that is between two planetary bodies, and that is Pluto and Mars. House 5 and House 7 is whenever you have these two, any planetary body that is in House 5 and another in House 7, that means exactly 2 houses apart. That means roughly 60 degrees apart. That's a sextile. That is a de facto sextile. But when they are exactly 60 degrees with an orb of plus or minus 3, that means it could be 57 all the way to 63. So within that range, then we say planet Mars and planet Pluto. It's not just planet, it's Pluto and then 2 planets, because these 2 are in conjunction, as you're going to see us soon. Planet Mars and Saturn are in conjunction. We're going to look at that. It's happening later in the week, really the perfect conjunction itself, but already because of the orb that is there, they are on, this one is already ongoing. So that's why you don't see saying it starts or begins or it's already ongoing. We just didn't cover last week because, of course, last week we're not talking about aspects at all. And the other planetary aspect that is ongoing is that one concerned with the lunar ascending node or AC node. This you find it in celestial house number 6, and the planet Ceres, which is in house number 8. So again, these have a perfect sextile. They're separated by exactly approximately 60 degrees in the 2 what, and therefore that is an important aspect. Now, I don't know whether the next note has to do with just this another perfect sextile, and that is of planet Venus here. Planet Venus, which is in house number 8, celestial house number 6, it is starting. This is something that is starting. This is not something that is continuing. This is starting on Tuesday. So as we speak, the other 2 perfect sextiles are not in effect now, but are already in effect. They are continuing. But this of Venus and Vesta, the VE planet, it starts on Tuesday. So this Tuesday, that's when it begins. So because we've spoken, these are the sextiles that are there. They are the three perfect aspects that are already in place, except maybe the ones to do with the moon. The moon goes into all manner of aspects, so the moon is very programmable, changes a lot. So the moon will go into all sorts of squares and sextiles and quintiles and oppositions and conjunctions. So actually for the moon, we only consider it conjunctions and oppositions with the planet, because we'll just actually have to look too many. We don't have the space and time to check all the alignment that she has with the other. So these are the three sextiles that are there. So again, I come to the question, what does it mean? It means good, bad, neutral. Whether these sextiles are gateways that you can access for influence or provision depends on your profile. I'm sorry, that is my universal caveat, but there's just no other way. Without understanding your astrological profile, understanding these videos in time is really not of much use. There are some that are, especially the ones that have to do with the moon and the sun, because those ones don't have caveats. You can never be out of sync with the moon or the sun. Unless maybe you are, I don't know what I would say, you're bewitched or maybe you're dead. But so long as you're alive, the moon and the sun are programmable for you. And that is why you can schedule days on a calendar that is ruled by the moon and the sun. And things will happen. So we don't put caveats ourselves in our system. And of course, another thing, of course, that makes us different from other astrologers, and I'm not here pounding my chest and just saying as it is that we don't give these and tell you, oh, well, this is happening, do this. And they're giving them in a public way without requiring people to be profiled, without knowing your astrological profile. That's just not the way the cosmic machine, the creative cosmic machine that was created by the creator of the universe, was meant to work. It was meant to work with a particular, there's a time for everything. It can't be for everyone and everybody at any time. So this one doesn't mean the same for everyone. All these don't mean the same. As the same as we are talking about, this here is not an aspect, this is a transition, this is a transit, and it is of planet Mercury. It is going into Habizelda, and this is house Neoteran Celestial house number 7. This transition is happening, this movement is happening on Wednesday, the 27th of the 7th month of this year, the exact day of the midweek for us. So again, as usual, this can be good, it can be bad, it can be indifferent. Depends again on the pattern that is there in your astrological profile concerning Mercury, concerning Mercury's phase. Now it is a prograde morning star, and it is that means it's infrasolar and it's alignment. So what is that? What is the pattern for Mercury? Mercury has so many indicators. So can we go to your profile and look at all the indicators? Which ones are in agreement with this kind of alignment? Which ones are antagonistic to this? And that is the basis on which we can give you advice. Otherwise, this just becomes information that puffs you up. Let's look at the next highlight for the week. We're talking about planet Aries. Aries is very essential. Aries has very little programmability for individual, unless what is specific to your profile. You have something very significant with Aries, but you can't really have much significant with Aries, because Aries takes such a long period of time to make any change. So this is the solar conjunction. This is something that happens regularly, at least every year, of course. planet Aries will be in conjunction with the sun. The sun will make a whole cycle of the heaven. So we can be sure in the 365 and approximately quarter days that the sun takes to cycle the entire heaven, one of these times it will be close enough to Aries, and for about a week, less than a week usually, it will be within the neighborhood and it will have a conjunction for about 6 days also. The sun moves, remember the sun moves about 1 degree every single day. And therefore, if you're talking about a number of 3 degrees, the number is how much allowance, how much latitude you're given to consider a certain alignment as being in effect. And that means by the time the sun moves about 3 degrees behind Aries, already the conjunction starts. And then the sun moves each day about a degree, each day about a degree. So after 3 days, it's in perfect conjunction. So if this one's starting on Wednesday, you can be sure the perfect conjunction of planet Aries with the sun. This is just a basic understanding. I'm teaching you to be an astrologer here. If you hear something, a solar conjunction is happening in a day, except with the moon. The moon is a different matter. Especially with a very slow planet, outer planet. Starts on a particular day. Then you can be sure it will take about 3 days to reach perfection, and therefore means the perfect conjunction is certainly going to happen on Friday or Saturday thereabouts. And then after 3 days, that is by Monday of next week, Monday, Tuesday, this what will have ended. So it's just a basic what you don't have to check. We just know from the motions of these planets how it happened. Aries, we know from last week, had already started inching towards the border between house number 7 and house number 8. But that is not very significant because, of course, Aries is not a zodiacal planet. I'm looking at the time. We have 19 minutes. So let's go ahead. We have so many things to cover. We have to rush now. Or we go to speak to the new week and then come back and finish this. The next highlight here, 28th on Thursday. This is major. This is significant. This is a top press kind of event. And I tell people, these are the significant ones. You hear always, one of the most common questions that I've been getting for years and years is there's a planetary lineup. Because I can tell you there are cloud chasers here on social media who just want to give you something sensational. Because we have not been commenting on the live, what I have not been looking, visited to see, but thank you, because I continue to see that there are people who are joining us. The only problem is that I can't tell who they are. It will be good to know who you are, because I see, according to us, there are still 6 people who are following us, which is like the highest we've had on stream. So please, please, please. Let us know if you joined us. If you join us, please just type something in the chat. Let's know who you are. It's very, very important for me. It's very, very important for me. I want to know who are the fans of this world, because we want to grow this channel. We want to grow this sort of outreach so that it can become what it is meant to be. It's meant to be the most influential thing happening in the fabric of time now, over these 6 years and the years that are to come. So as you're building towards that momentum, need to know who it is that is with us. So as I said, this is very, very significant. This is not just a planetary item. The reason why you not find it on Instagram and X is because it's happening very, very close to the sun. And that means it is not viewable, really. It is happening during the day. You can't see these planets. They are so close to the sun. They are very same celestial house as the sun is in. So you'll hear it's nothing important. So as you can see, actually at this point in time, these are not just the 5 planets that we find. That is these are the 5 of them. We are starting with the waning crescent moon. We are coming to Mercury. They are arranged here by their importance. And and then we have planet Mars, and then we have planet Saturn, and then we have planet Neptune. So these 5 of them, all these 5 planets are in conjunction. But because you cannot be able to literally see, they are not happening in the night sky, but the daytime sky. In astrology, it is not, the spectacle is good. So if there's a spectacle, it's good, we can be able to look at it. But it's barely the most significant thing. You don't have to be able to see what is happening for it to have significance. But what's important here, these are the 5 planets that are in perfect conjunction. And this is happening on Thursday. The most significant thing is actually, they are not just the only one. Because as you looked and saw in that planetary map, is that there will be, the sun also is in this house. And the sun is in this house, and we have also planet Aries. So imagine how many of the 16 planets in our what? Imagine 7 of them, almost half of them, are within one house. And 5 of them at this particular moment in conjunction. Actually, the last time I saw something as significant as this, I think is when we were starting actually our year. And again, it was not mentioned in social media circles because it was taking place too close to the sun. And therefore, there was no nighttime spectacle. Usually, evening time spectacle. People look at them, and that is what gets sensational, all the sensational posts on social media. But this is significant. 7 planets within a particular house is not something small, especially if we consider the moon is there, Mercury is there, Mars is there, Saturn is there, and the sun. Of those 7, 5 are major planets, 5 of the major planets. So only planets that are not involved in this is Venus and Jupiter. Venus, because it just left quite recently, it's in house 8. So, but you see, it is still actually in the very same neighborhood, but it's ahead of the sun. It's an evening star. It's an evening star. But the rest of them are behind the sun, and they are congregated together. You cannot be able to see them because they're in the daytime sky. They'll be in the daytime sky. But it is important to know that that is happening. And this is a special moment. So now, this is something significant because I usually say, when you look at planets, it depends on your profile. That's what, as I said, not a couple of minutes ago. But this one, remember, it involves a crescent moon. The sun is not very far away. So this one cancels just about anything. So this is something that is almost certainly to be universal. Because even if you may have certain disagreements with Mercury in its planetary phase that it's in now, which is the infrasolar or morning star, then Mars may not be, they cancel out. That is the nature of what we do in our prognostications. If you have, because when planets actually in perfect conjunction, that means any one of them can act like the other. So you can almost certainly, this is something that is universal. This is universal. Let us agree. Because nobody can have anything that will contradict what is happening or whatever you can do here. And you can do literally just about anything. This is something that you can use. So this is, if you're looking for a significant day, this week, there is no more significant day than Thursday. Thursday is special, one of a kind actually, because of his planetary alignment. The last time, as I said, we have seen and witnessed and profiled this was in the 5th month of our first year. Remember, do you know where that was happening? Again, this sort of congregation, that time, actually all the major planets were there, except planet Mars. All the 6 major planets were there together in one house. That is in Cabell. And that was one of the markers of the age. And this is a marker for also the priestly transition that we have entered into. So this is significant. If you have a day that you need to take note of, is Thursday, the 28th of our 7th month. Sorry, when I don't use Gregorian calendar dates in our chart because in these posts, you'll not see me posting Gregorian calendar dates. Maybe sometimes I put them in brackets, but I don't like them. So, but of course, because we're talking about this week, you know it is this week, it is the last of this week in our calendar, is number 20, it is 28. Now we are coming very, very close to the start of a new day. It's 11. Please, if you do have something you'd like to know about this, so this is like the major highlight of the month of the year could be for us in a commemoration. So, what else is happening? I think we can look at least another one more highlight. The closer we move to. Oh, now we come to the final. We'll be able to do all our prognostications. So we are looking at the moon. As I said, the moon is one of a kind planet. It does so much, and therefore we cannot, very sorry, put its alignment and its highlights in one page so that you can look. And here we have 5 of them. We have 5 of them. The first one is already in place. And that is the planetary conjunction of the moon and planet Pluto. I know we did note it last week, but we should have noted it because it started in the week that is ending. So it is going to end on Sunday. Actually, it is very nice. Now, something we have added here, we've added 2 more columns here to this table of lunar alignments, and that is to talk about the nature of that event. Is it instantaneous? Is it eddy? Is it static? So that is what I mean by the nature. So how can we describe it? And then we talk about what lunar cycle. The moon is the most complicated of all planets. It is the most programmable of all of them. That is why I don't like the Gregorian calendar. Because the Gregorian calendar totally ignores the moon. And it just gives us the moon, the sun which is good for standard, but it's so static. There's nothing more dynamic than the moon. If your programs are only done on the Gregorian calendar, what I can tell you is you're missing out on virtually all creative opportunities, because the moon is the one that carries programmability beyond that of the moon, of the sun. It's the one that keeps shifting with the darkness and light, especially. The sun is always. Actually, we say that light is the sun, by the way, in our system, and this can be contradicted. The sun is the embodiment of darkness, but it is standard. It does not change it between light and darkness. It's the moon. Moon is the one that's programmable. So here we are starting with that conjunction, subprime conjunction. We have, and that is in the tropical cycle of the lunar. The lunar cycle can be tropical, it can be draconic, it can be synodic. So that is why we are saying which one. The most visible cycle that we know is the synodic cycle. And I don't want us to go too much far. We have 8 minutes, so I want to finish this very quickly. And let me just look at this draconic one. The draconic is the cycle of the moon that is traced by its in relationship to its nodes. Now, the tropical and the draconic are actually just about the same. Okay? Because we are talking about the sun, how the moon moves across the zodiac houses. The synodic, we are looking at how does it relate to the sun. Is it a new moon? Is it a waning crescent? Is it a waxing crescent? And through this week, by the way, the moon is a waning crescent up until the day of the conjunction. That is happening on 29th, the Friday, the 29th of this month. And this is something progressive because it takes place over hours, sometimes even almost throughout the day. And it's in the synodic cycle. Usually the moon will do one synodic transition or change within a week, and usually a lot more because it can take about 8 days. So this is the important ones. Let's look at another tropical. What is happening on Thursday? Thursday happens to be a very, very important day as it is. You can see the ascendant equatorial transit. The moon will be doing that. This is equivalent to what we call an equinox. So we have not got a very good way of describing it in terms of the sun. We have lunar solstices, which map very well with the solstices of the sun. But the equinoxes, this is like an equinox of the moon. happening. It's the very same thing that is happening on what happened at the beginning of the month, the ascendant equinox, because the moon will be aligning, it will be transiting up across the celestial ascendant creative gateway point. It is 13 years and it's on the tropical cycle. And then this conjunction, of course, we've already talked about, beginning on that day between the moon, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Neptune. It starts that day. What I've not calculated exactly when it's going to end with the moon is within a matter of about 3 days. The moon will get along with its other business. We're about 6 minutes now. But as you can see, there's so much packed in today's week. There is so much promise. There are so many influential gateways that are there. But I can tell you which one specifically, other than this one, that I can tell you, I can guarantee you, is almost certainly going to be universal. And this other one, because it involves the sun and the moon, these ones, they don't have any taboos, they don't have any caveats, they don't have any provisions. You can make use of them. They are universal. You don't need to look at your profile first to understand that. So basically, just these that are happening in the synodic and the tropical cycle of the moon. But the others, you need your profile. I cannot, as I posted, I cannot overemphasize just how important it is to get your profile, get to understand it. And we are coming now to about 5 minutes to the start of the week. The sun is about to align with the horizon at Townet. Prepare yourselves. I'm giving you another 3 or 4 minutes to prepare, to think about the things you'd like to do this week in light of what we have talked about, and then we meet together, speak to that moment as we enter boldly into week 30. Be guaranteed, be certain that we have programmed what needs to be programmed for our influence, for our provision. Okay, thank you. Welcome back. I hope you've had time to contemplate about the things that you are planning, you are desiring, you want to have effect. All these gateways, we need to make use of them. They're essential for our purpose, for our rising, for our becoming. So let us speak. As week 30 begins, we start here as divine cosmic dominant beings in our place of creative authority, causing it to be that there shall be an implosion, an explosion, an overwhelming outpouring of divine virtue that is important, that is essential for the rising that must happen within our system, within our community, within our families, and within our businesses and our own individual lives. Let the order that is necessary to bring to an effect, to expedite, to accelerate, and to accentuate and make legal the real change that we are doing, that we desire, that we have gained from heavenly provisions, that it be now effectual. I am speaking to everyone that is listening to us, whether they listen to us live now or they listen to a replay of this stream, that when they hear this sound of this voice and this vibration that is happening at this moment, as we are transitioning to this new day, that they will, without question, without caveat, without roadblocks and impediments being put in their way, have way to progress forward. Whatever it is that they need in terms of understanding, in terms of wisdom, in terms of material, supernatural, esoteric understanding is provided in the now. And all these gateways that we have looked up to today, all these points of access, all these points of influence, they shall work together for our good, because we have the tongue, we have the minds, we have the understanding of how the seasons are. And these words are effective. They have cause. They shall not be void, but they shall repay and become effectual, not just in the now, not just in this world, not just in this realm, but in all aspects of existence. For it is so, and it is good in our sight. Thank you so much. If you believe fervently in those words that are spoken, you will see a week of surprising results. I'm still trying to monitor our live chat, and today people have been unusually quiet. The good thing is that I can see there are still people tuned in, and it's an excellent thing. We will continue being consistent. That is the most important thing. That's a measure of what we are doing and what we can do. That is essential for where we are. And I'm just happy that we're here. We are growing this enterprise. It's becoming even more effectual. If you have any questions to do with the astrological profile, with anything that is happening, look at the page, at the description. Click the links that show you how to join our global community, WhatsApp global community. That's where we first send the messages about this and other streams. I'll try to give a summary of today's video so that we can be able to access all of them, especially the part that we're talking about the signs and the alignments that are major in the celestial heavens at this point in time, so that we can have it as reference. Otherwise, I love every one of you. Have a week of consequence. Have a week of dominance. Have a week that answers to every one of your concerns, every one of your desires, everything that you wish to bring to effect. These again are the lunar transitions. Let them give you comfort that you have access, you have power to rebuild, you have power to strengthen that which is happening. Thank you so much. Catch you next week, same time, 11:30 in the afternoon of Saturday. We will do that. We have 20 more weeks to go. We have we'll have 21 more weeks to go to the end of the year. We will be here for every one of those sessions, and we will speak authoritatively, effectively, and for consequence of our lives, of our material sphere of influence and the eternal one. Thank you. God bless you.